What's up, everybody? So, I want to do a quickish, maybe semi-quickish, semi-slowish ramble on the Space Marine stuff coming from Forge World and GW. Because I'm a Space Marine fan, it's cool to see what's coming alongside, the Codex releases. With Blood Angels being seen first, Dark Angels we're starting to see some stuff for as well, which makes me super excited. I am feeling the inspiration of the Inner Circle once more. Actually, seeing the Codex will be coming soon, so that's really exciting for me. I have some potential ideas I want to do and really want to see what the Codex can offer. Now, anyways, with that said, Forge World also has Red Scorpion stuff. So I want to talk Forge World real quick, then jump into UW stuff and give you my thoughts on what we're seeing, as well as a slight concern. So Forge World, what we see are the Regions of the Origin Rift model set, which is really cool. It's two models. They're on their own bases, but their bases fit nicely into the display base that they get, and I really like that setup. That's something that I think resin base makers out there should really consider. Instead of just saying, here's a set of resin bases, whatever, they should do a thematic mega base that you could have like a few models or even a squad potentially of bases fit onto, just for theming purposes, or it just feels really cool in my opinion. Anyway, always nice to see that. Those models do look good. One of them, the one without the standard, feels like almost like I've seen that pose in the Black Templar art before. I mean, they're Red Scorpions, but it's just cool to see that posing in general. Now, with that said, we also have Carib Cullen, but now he's Carib Cullen the Risen because his story has progressed further. Where you could say, I guess we last left off with him, or where the story was going, is he was thought killed. So his remains were brought back, but he was still clinging to life because super soldier and superhero and all that. But anyway, he gets interred into a relic Leviathan dreadnought, and that is Carib Cullen the Risen. He was once the chapter master, not anymore. This is one of the few instances we see progression in a character's story. We've seen it with Lysander. We kind of sort of see it with Kyvan Shrike. But we see it here for sure with Carib Cullen. And he's definitely been through the ringer. He went from veteran sergeant, I believe, all the way to chapter master. Veteran sergeant, captain, we saw him again. Chapter master, we saw him yet again. And now we see him as Cullen the Risen, a dreadnought. Which means his story, not that his story is at a close, but his character progression is at a close. Once you go dreadnought, you're basically done. You can't reverse the dreadnought effect. So that is part of the drawbacks of going to the dreadnought stage with a character. But at the same time, if you have a good progression like Carib Cullen does, it's pretty cool. So the models are all fantastic. I like that they're giving Red Scorpion support. And I'm really interested to see an Imperial Armor book come from Forge World. I want to see the Horus Heresy stuff, of course. But I also would like to see more Imperial Armor. Not just rehashing what was out there to be updated, but full-blown new stuff, because they do a really good job with those books. So hopefully this is a potential signs of things to come. I don't know. We'll see. Shifting gears back to GW, we got some our first starts of glimpse into the Dark Angels Codex itself. I'm pretty excited, pretty stoked for it. I have kind of a newfound drive for the Unforgiven, particularly the Dark Angels, the first yet again. And really, it's not hinging, but it'll be dependent on what the Codex can do once I see it 100%, fully out for us to buy and all that. But that's cool to see. What we have right now are the Blood Angels. The Blood Angels Codex is out for pre-order, and I like what they did. I like what I'm seeing, but I did mention my concerns. So what we're seeing for the Blood Angels is, of course, the Codex in different incarnations. Some dice, which is expensive dice, but cool. I mean, at that point you're getting because you're a fan of the chapter. Like I probably would most likely get if they have some Unforgiven dice. I would definitely make a purchase for that, I would feel. So it's more of a, hey, I'm a big Blood Angels fan in this case. Let's say, theoretically, I'll go and get the dice because cool. That's how I kind of see it going, but it is kind of pricey. So we also see some a battalion detachment, which is cool. But on top of that, we see Primaris stuff. Now, these Blood Angel Primaris intercessors and Hellblasters and aggressors, all they are is a standard kit with the new Blood Angel Primaris upgrade sprue. They're not whole new kits that that you can purchase. So just keep that in mind. They're still cool. It's still cool to be able to have that because then you get the kit and the upgrade sprue together. But what you're looking at is just that, the upgrade sprue. Now, the upgrade sprue for Primaris is cool. It's something that I kind of called them doing in a previous ramble when we saw the lieutenant models, and for the Blood Angels, Lieutenant Talmaran or Talmaran. I don't know how to pronounce the Blood Angels lieutenant. But in seeing that, it got me thinking we will definitely be seeing some sort of Primaris upgrades. And I'm glad that my thought is true, which means we're going to see some Dark Angel ones, which I'm excited about. And potentially even after the codices are released, we go into the new year, maybe we'll see stuff for like Imperial Fists and so forth. That'd be kind of cool too. I hope they evolve their upgrade bits a little, because while the Primaris one is fine, some heads, an extra helmet, unhelmeted heads plus a helmeted version, some aggressor, or I should say Gravis, not Terminator, Gravis armor shoulder pads, which look like Terminator armor shoulder pads with some modifications to them, which is how they've always looked. But it's also some regular shoulder pads for the Primaris, which is cool. Always nice to have extra shoulder pad stuff. But the shoulder pads and the helmets are interchangeable with standard Space Marine things, so keep that in mind. And they get some extra MacGuffins and whatnot. It's not a bad sprue, but hopefully they'll incorporate almost, like, I would be okay with them incorporating 2 more Gravis pattern shoulder pads and cutting down the normal shoulder pad count to 3, and then give us something else on top of that, maybe yet another head or something. But who knows? We'll see what they do for the future. But it's nice to have it instead of not having the option. So that's cool. I was hoping for at least one torso front for the let's say intercessors or whatnot. But hey, still better than nothing. With that said, everything you see here is for Primaris model wise. There's the Codex and then Primaris stuff, and this is because Primaris are the new thing for Space Marines. All Space Marine factions that can take Primaris, this is their new thing. This is just the way it's going to be, by and large. So, with that said, I understand it, but my concern is that Primaris will be overtaking everything, not replacing and getting rid of regular Space Marine stuff. That doesn't seem to be happening. It's not what they want to have happen, and I doubt we'll see that for a good few years to come at the very least. But you don't have to replace stuff to have the player base feel like they need to replace it themselves. When you constantly give stuff for Primaris, you're not taking away anything for Space Marines, but when you're getting more Primaris hype and stuff out there, more people are gonna look at regular Space Marine stuff, and then just go with the latest new kits and see how they get support and so forth. So I like the Primaris. I do. I think they're interesting, but I think they really got to look at what they want to do with the Space Marines overall. If they want this to be the new scale, I'm okay with that. Give us Devastators, give us everything back. Make some awesome looking Terminators in this scale, and be done with it. If they want them to be the two separate things that they are still, then they're gonna have to give some basic Space Marine stuff in support and alongside with the Primaris stuff and future stuff. And I said stuff a lot there. I have to imagine that once all the factions that can take Primaris get Primaris, then down the pipeline in years to come, I think we'll see more of that hybridization, not hybridization, but more of that balance of Primaris and non-Primaris stuff coming out. I think right now it seems very lopsided and cause for concern because the Primaris are the new things for every faction. Yes, we saw their line come out for the regular Space Marine Codex, but it's still something new for Blood Angels. It's still going to be something new for Space Wolves. It's still going to be something new for Dark Angels and so forth. So there are going to be the focal point for a decent amount of time still. Part of my concern is not so much the models, but in the Codex, a lot of the newer art stuff is so Primaris focused that it makes you go, don't forget about the regular Space Marine guys. They're still a force to be reckoned with. And that's why I'm kind of really interested, not kind of, that's why I have a pretty decent interest in the Dark Angel Codex on top of being a Dark Angel fan. Given their history and given some of the glimpses we got already, this codex is going to have Primaris, but this could be the codex that not only in having the Primaris there because, well, they're here, but could be one of the forces that really focus on the standard Space Marine over Primaris, outside of getting Primaris upgrade stuff, of course. So we'll see. Anyways, this not so quickish, slowish ramble is just about done, I think. Thanks very much for sticking through it. And share your thoughts on the Forge World Red Scorpion stuff. Are you a Red Scorpion fan? They always look pretty cool to me. What are your thoughts on the Blood Angel stuff coming? Are you excited as a Blood Angel fan? And yeah, share your thoughts on it all in the comment section below. Anyways, thanks very much for sticking through it. And until the next one, take it easy.